The evening breeze drifted softly through the quiet, lamplit streets of Chiang Mai. It carried the scent of night-blooming jasmine and the faint, distant hum of temple bells, a sound that always made me feel like I was home. I stood under the sprawling branches of the old banyan tree, the same one where Peem and I used to sit for hours, sharing our wildest dreams. Our hearts would flutter like butterflies, caught somewhere between the thrill of hope and the fear of what was to come. It had been months since our last real conversation, months since I watched her walk away, swallowed by the morning mist, without a single goodbye. It was a silence that echoed louder than any argument we ever had, and yet, somehow, I still felt her presence in everything. She was in the fiery colors of the sunset, in the lyrics of our favorite songs, in every whisper of the wind that brushed against my cheek. I could close my eyes and almost feel her here, right beside me. I've always been the practical one. My life was built on logic, on plans, on a foundation of reason. I liked things to make sense. Peem, on the other hand, was beautiful chaos in motion. She was a spark of pure, unbridled spontaneity that I both deeply admired and, if I'm honest, sometimes feared. Our love wasn't a fairy tale. It was messy and real. It was filled with explosive laughter that made our stomachs ache, with arguments that ended in tearful apologies, and late-night confessions whispered in the dark. It was built on silent embraces that said more than words ever could. We first met at a photography workshop. I was immediately captivated by her fearless approach, the way she could find the raw, unfiltered emotion in any subject and capture it through her lens. She saw the world in a way I never could. And she, in turn, told me later that she was drawn to my quiet strength, to the way my eyes seemed to hold entire conversations without me ever having to speak. Our connection grew so effortlessly it felt like fate. Simple morning coffees would stretch into long, meandering late-night walks through the old city. Every photograph we took together became another memory stitched permanently into the fabric of our hearts. Our favorite escape was driving up into the mountains, away from the noise and the rush. Up there, time seemed to slow down, and our love felt infinite. It was just us, two souls breathing in perfect sync under a vast star-dusted sky. It felt like we had forever. But life, as it often does, had other plans. I received a career opportunity in Bangkok that was too good to pass up, a chance to build the future I had always worked for. Peem needed to stay behind in Chiang Mai, to care for her family. At first, the distance felt like a challenge we could conquer. We were strong, we told ourselves. But slowly, insidiously, that distance began to whisper doubts into the quiet spaces between us. The weeks bled into months. Our long, heartfelt messages dwindled into short, obligatory check-ins. Our calls became rarer, filled with awkward silences where warmth and laughter once lived. A cold silence settled between us, and it felt like a wall was being built, brick by painful brick. I tried to move on, to focus on my new life, my new job. I tried to convince myself that what we had was just a chapter, not the whole story. But no matter how hard I tried, I could never erase her. Her smile, so bright and full of life, lingered in my mind like the warm sunlight that breaks through after a storm. The memory of her touch was a ghost that haunted my skin, a feeling I could never ever forget. I told myself I was being sentimental, that I was romanticizing the past, but my heart knew the truth. And so tonight, I found myself back here, standing under this tree where it all began. My chest ached with a familiar pain, a longing for the memories I had tried so desperately to bury. I was lost in my thoughts when a soft, hesitant voice broke the silence. "You still come here?" My heart stopped. I turned around slowly, almost afraid of what I would see. And there she was, Peem. She was standing in the soft glow of the street lamp, wearing the same simple white dress she wore the day she left. Her eyes shimmered with a familiar uncertainty, but beneath it, I saw something I recognized instantly, a love that had never truly faded, a love that had waited. My breath hitched in my throat. I could barely form the words. "I didn't expect you." A faint, sad smile touched her lips. "Neither did I, but somehow, I just felt I'd find you here." The air between us was thick, trembling with all the unspoken words, all the unanswered questions that had accumulated over the months. Every beat of my heart felt heavy, echoing the weight of our shared past. I wanted to speak, to demand why, to ask how we let something so beautiful just drift apart. But my voice failed me. Instead, I took a step closer, and another, until I was close enough to see the single tear tracing a path down her cheek. That was all it took for my own walls to come crumbling down. I missed you, I whispered, the words barely audible, but they held the weight of 1,000 lonely nights. Peem exhaled shakily, a sound of pure relief. Then why did we let go? She asked, her voice cracking. I shook my head, my own tears finally falling freely. I don't know. Maybe we were young. Maybe we were scared. Maybe we thought love alone wasn't enough to bridge the distance. But I was wrong, I said, my voice gaining strength. You never really left me. Somewhere, somehow, you stayed. She reached out, her hand trembling as it came to rest on my cheek, her thumb gently wiping away a tear. Her touch was electric, a jolt that reawakened every dormant feeling inside me. Still in my heart, she murmured softly, her eyes locked on mine. Always, in that instant, the world around us simply faded away. The city lights blurred into a soft glow, the distant sounds of the night dissolved into a low hum, and time itself seemed to stand still. All that existed was the incredible warmth of her hand on my skin, the closeness of our breath mingling in the cool night air, and the undeniable, magnetic pull of something that was always meant to be. I leaned forward, closing the final inch of space between us, and she met me halfway. Our lips met, so gently at first, a hesitant question, a tentative rediscovery. Then, the kiss deepened, filled with all the longing, all the regret, all the unspoken love we'd carried for so long. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a promise being reborn. It was a bridge between our past and our future, between the people we were and the people we could still become together. When we finally, reluctantly, pulled apart, Peem rested her forehead against mine, our eyes still closed. I could feel her breath on my lips, steady now. So, what now? She whispered into the space between us. A real smile, the first one in months, spread across my face. I opened my eyes and looked into hers, seeing my own reflection, my own hope, my own home. Now, I said, my voice clear and certain, we start again. Somewhere, somehow, we'll find our way, together, and there, under the ancient, watchful branches of the banyan tree, surrounded by the gentle hum of the Chiang Mai night and the quiet whispers of destiny, two souls finally found their way back to each other, still in love, still in each other's hearts, still believing that sometimes, love doesn't need a map. Sometimes it just needs time to find its way home. Thank you so much for watching our story unfold. If it resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories from the heart. We'd love to have you with us on this journey.